do you think that another team will ever go 73-9? Because that is the Dubs, like the OG Dubs, and obviously, if you guys don't know, they have the record for the best record ever.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. Because like I said that like I don't think we will ever will, but I don't think people ever thought we would see a team do better than the 72-10
the
Bulls.
Bulls, right?
So it's kind of. I say that now just because like I'm seeing how dominant us and the Cavs have been this whole season. We both have 9 losses.
9 losses, right?
So they would have to go. They'd have to go
18 total losses between two teams.
Right.
That's crazy.
That is nuts. But you'd have to see them not lose a single game.
LeBron, if you guys don't know, is top 5 in the NBA in assists. So clearly his role on the Lakers right now is being an initiator and kind of being able to set the table for the other players. And he finished with 24 points. I want to say he also had 11 assists as well. So he finished with a double-double. But yeah, this in the third quarter, it was really when LeBron James got surgical in the pick and roll. It allowed kind of everybody else to open up and get.
Let's go! I got two.
Two of them.
All-stars.
I did too, bro.
I haven't felt like this in a minute, bro.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Since the KD Russ or PG Russ days.
Yeah, I was gonna say PG Russ,
and then obviously KD Russ.
Yeah, when I saw that, I'm sure I was like, I know that makes you happy because I know you know
so
Shea, obviously. Yeah, but like it's like tough because the Thunder definitely have more all-stars. What's going on, everybody, man? It's the lovely main co-host, ZD, man. I'm with the lovely other co-host, CJ. We in the building, man. We doing 3-Man Weave coming at you guys live in person, obviously, right?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
In the flesh.
Yeah, like Saturday at 9. So it's a little later tonight. But we have a lot of stuff to talk about, man. The All-Star reserves just recently came out. Obviously, you guys know there's been a couple snubs, but also, I think there's some first-time All-Stars that definitely deserve to be in.
100%.
We're going around the NBA, obviously. We're going to recap our betting segment that happened on Wednesday. And then, let's see. I think that's it. Talk about Lakers, Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
I think the 3 teams we're doing today are Bulls, who else? Knicks, and...
Pelicans.
Yeah, Pelicans. Yeah, so Ease Misi. Yeah, thank you for that. Ease Misi. Trey Murphy, obviously the DeJounte Murray injury. We'll talk about it. If you guys didn't know that we'll be going around the NBA more just because we feel like it's important to touch on everybody's teams. Pause. But I feel like me and him we always talk about the Lakers and the Thunder at the beginning of the episode just because I'm a Lakers fan, he's a Thunder fan. But we feel like we got to show love to all the other teams going around the NBA a couple times. So we'll chat about those 3 teams and obviously about the All-Star reserves. But CJ, how you doing, man? How you feeling?
Dude, I'm doing great. Just got a big dub tonight against the Kings.
Oh yeah,
which is great because we were just talking about it. as before we started recording and whatnot. We've been kind of a little lackluster as of late. So it sucks, but
Whenever you say lackluster, it's like 1 loss, right?
I think it's more so just like you said, it's the teams that we've been playing against. They're technically weaker teams, right? And we've been struggling a little bit, but I think it's kind of heading into All-Star break. Not making excuses, of course, because I mean it's the league, so you got to go out there any day and ball out. But I think it's just before the All-Star break, I think J-Dub was injured this game, so he sat out. But just injuries, bro. Caruso's been out a lot, so it's kind of the rotations have been kind of. Aaron Wiggins just had like a career game. He had like 41 points, 14 rebounds. So shout out to that. Which like I've been saying, we're gonna need those type of not 40-point performances, but
he's been hooping.
Yeah, he's been hooping all season, so it's great to see that. Isaiah Joe has been doing great. Haven't really been seeing Lou Dort on the offensive end as much, but I mean, we know what he provides on the defensive side of the ball, so it's been good, bro. Can't really complain.
Nice.
We've been hooping as of late. Not as well as I think we lost. We lost against the Warriors the other night.
Right.
I mean, Steph didn't have like a
it?
crazy game, but like, I kind of brought it up. Kind of just the fact that Andrew Wiggins scores 28. And
the Thunder have those weird one-off. These players go off one time against them,
right? And like you said, it's I bring it up a lot, and I think you were saying like I think that's just kind of how the
NBA
game,
is,
NBA is, which you're completely right. It's just it kind of
sucks.
it's a little eye opening for me because teams are needing players like that to step up because
Yeah.
obviously,
Bro.
you know, the teams that all stars, all NBA type players, they're going to do their thing. So it's like who's
sure.
the next man up. And I feel like you said, that's kind of been a majority of our losses have been because of role players that
Going off
are
for 30.
going for 30, 25, whatever it is. But
besides the Cavs loss, really.
right, yeah, that was just
like I think like the Mavs have PJ.
he's been hooping though.
Yeah, he's been hooping
This whole
for sure.
season, like not even just against
Yeah,
us.
if you're we're talking about the Mavs. We haven't talked about them yet, but when we do talk about them, obviously we'll talk about PJ. I think what CJ's saying though, like, yeah, that whenever Andrew Wiggins gives you 30 points, and honestly, no slight to him either. He's an NBA champion. Like, he's obviously good. I think his career's been interesting because he was kind of touted as the next LeBron. But like, obviously that was never going to be the materialized. But he's still an NBA champion. Like, he's still a great player. I think people forget how good he is. But yeah, he had a crazy game. Pretty much, he was like the main reason the Dubs were able to kind of stay up to the Thunder. And like CJ was saying, Curry, I think over the last 10 hasn't been doing that great. I think he's only averaging like 18 points a game. He's kind of like been a little, I wouldn't say timid, but just trying to get more people involved, right? Just trying to figure out what the Warriors have. Like their younger guys, seeing what, Moody can give them, obviously what Wiggins can give them, but, Pods, Trace, Jackson Davis.
Right.
Just like players like that, because the Warriors have a lot of like utility players. But yeah, it was interesting. I mean, they were able to get a win, so props to them. They've been playing horribly pretty much for like a whole month. Obviously, I don't know if we talked about them maybe 2 episodes ago, but we were talking about how their roster is kind of, you don't really know what to do if you're the Warriors. You know? So yeah, that was an interesting game. I didn't watch a ton of it. I watched the fourth quarter, but
I think I didn't watch the whole game as well. I watched like the second half and just kind of seeing. I started watching it when like they started coming back. So that was frustrating because I think we were beating them by like 20 at one point, 18, something like that. And then Shea obviously had that crazy first half. I think he had like 28 in the first half, something like that. So yeah, I saw like
he ended up putting up 50, right?
50, which is crazy, bro.
Yeah, man, Shea keeps scoring. Like I think they whenever the games are close, guys, like he kind of got to score, as much as possible. I don't know, like. Again, the Thunder are obviously probably still, to me, the best team in the NBA. One loss isn't going to, they've, I think, 10 losses? Or 9?
9 or 10.
Yeah, it's like 9. It might be 9 because they won tonight. But question for you, CJ. So the Warriors, I saw your tweet about how we were doing that we went back and forth for a second.
Yeah.
Do you think that another team will ever go 73-9? Because that is the Dubs, like the OG Dubs, and obviously, if you guys don't know, they have the record for the best record ever.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. Because like I said that like I don't think we will, but I don't think people ever thought we would see a team do better than the 72-10
the Bulls, right?
So it's kind of. I say that now just because like I'm seeing how dominant us and the Cavs have been this whole season. We both have 9 losses.
9 losses, right?
So they would have to go. They'd have to
18
go
18 total losses between 2 teams.
Right,
that's crazy.
That is nuts. But you'd have to see them not lose a single game this whole season.
Yeah,
to just to get tied, which I don't think it's.
Yeah, I don't.
And I feel like it's
50 years.
Right, like that Warriors team obviously made it to finals, lost blew the 3-1 lead stuff. I feel like
that was
that team. So like they're seeing, I feel like they had something to prove, and like they were like, let's go out and try to get this record. I feel like a lot of teams, like they're in that mentality of like, man, as long as we can make the playoffs,
right?
That's all we really care about. And it kind of sucks, but that is a lot of game. That's a lot of wins that like your team has to just be like 1 through fucking 12. Like they're all.
Yeah,
rotational players.
In that season, the Spurs, the Thunder, like there were a lot of other 50-win teams, but that team specifically, I think Kerr, he played the starters like 30 minutes every night, even if they were up like 20.
Yeah,
he still would leave Durant in. I think it was cool because that was it was kind of like our first look at like truly in my lifetime. So there's been dynasties, obviously, like you have Jordan, most famous, probably Spurs dynasty. Obviously, was in my lifetime. I was a little smaller, and then Lakers, right? But the Warriors dynasty, bro, that was like the first time where like I really felt like I was in a movie. Like it was just Cavs Warriors every time, you know. And those 73, I mean that 73-9 team was really good, really really good. I can't believe LeBron was able to beat them coming down from 3-1.
It's like literally like
that'll never happen, bro.
No, I don't think that'll ever happen again.
That'll never happen again.
And it's crazy that the Thunder blew that 3-1 lead to
Yeah,
the Warriors literally in
that. So that's why Durant went, right?
Right.
Yeah, so that's tough because yeah, I hope the Thunder can kind of redeem themselves in the playoffs.
Me too,
this
bro.
season especially, but just in the future.
Yeah, just in general, yeah, like it's been tough. Like that was really like the last time we were
Super close.
Yeah, super that close. Like we, there was those couple years when we had Russ. I think we were like 6th seed when he won his MVP, and then I think we barely made the playoffs that year in the bubble. Whenever Harden blocked Lou Dort.
Oh right. There's that.
I think we were the 8th seed
secret
that year.
base. Yeah, there's that secret base episode of like bro.
Yeah,
Harden.
Yeah. So, but no, yeah, man, this season has been great, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we've obviously been tapped in with it, so it's cool. It's cool like seeing certain people you have the conversations with, and kind of like, I don't judge whoever. If you want to talk to me about hoops, I'm down to talk about hoops. Too. But like, you can kind of see who like has actually been watching and understand it. You know what I mean? Like,
bro.
It's been I love it.
That's good. I think the Lakers game I was watching because they had played the Wizards. For you guys who don't know, who probably haven't been watching us, we've been kind of, we've been doing well over the last 10 games. We've had a couple easy opponents. Obviously, this last game was an easier opponent. To just get into some of the game stuff. First quarter was, we played pretty well. First 5 minutes, the Wizards and us were going back and forth on threes. Kuzma, Jordan Poole were getting very involved. I was kind of worried again because we don't have AD currently. He has like an oblique strain, and I think CJ said it on the last pod. He's currently out for 7 days, and they'll reevaluate him in that time frame. But point is we didn't have any AD, so I was a little bit worried that Valanciunas would be able to eat. But he didn't do too much. Obviously, he's not like an all-star. But first quarter it started off pretty fast. One thing that I'll give credit to the Wizards for is they play fast. They're not like a good team. They're not structured. They don't have any organization. Their offense is putrid, but they do play really fast. So I liked the tempo at the beginning of the game. Kind of going into the second quarter, though, that's when we were able to kind of start to pull away. LeBron had this really deep 3 in the first quarter that was really cool. It was from the logo. And just his shooting over the last 3 years, it's crazy to see how much better he's gotten from shooting threes. Because if you guys don't remember, LeBron really couldn't shoot that well about like 9 years ago, and now I would say he's a pretty decent 3-point shooter. But point is, he's obviously, we were in the second quarter, we were doing well. Our defense was really what won us this game. The Warriors, the Wizards don't have a good offense, but the way that we were able to play structured and organized defense was amazing. Max Christie was amazing in this game. He had his active hands was awesome. A lot of steals in the passing lane. Jared Vanderbilt too. I mean, I've kind of been hating on him because he doesn't really play, and what we like to say on this show is like your best ability is your availability. But he's finally kind of making an impact on the defensive end. And in the second quarter, he had a really nice steal. He poked it up high in the air, and Max Christie caught it and like threw it up to LeBron. And then LeBron like gave it back to Jared Vanderbilt, and it was like on an open fast break. And Jared Vanderbilt just got an open dunk. But it's like stuff like that makes me happy as a Lakers fan because we haven't been able to play good defense. And so watching us play team defense, even if it is against the Wizards, it still makes me happy. In the third quarter, we were up by 30 points. By this moment, now Austin Reeves is cooking. Dalton Connect's getting involved. LeBron James is unstoppable in the pick and roll. Him and Jackson Hayes actually seem to be a decent duo. LeBron, if you guys don't know, is top 5 in the NBA in assists. So clearly his role on the Lakers right now is being an initiator and kind of being able to set the table for the other players. And he finished with 24 points. I want to say he also had 11 assists as well. So he finished with a double-double. But yeah, this in the third quarter, it was really when LeBron James got surgical in the pick and roll. It allowed kind of everybody else to open up and get more shots. Dalton Connect, this is when he started going off in the third quarter. I think he hit like 2 threes or something like that. Also, Austin Reeves finished the game with like 18 points. So yeah, we were doing good, man, all around. I think the Wizards right now are in a tough spot because Koulibaly, Bud, even like Jordan Poole, Kuzma, like they're a little bit of their older guys. They just don't have anybody on their team to me who really seems like a leader. And it's interesting to watch them because they don't have any like structure. Like they don't run any plays. Like JJ Redick will still call plays out of a timeout. The other night, you know how he got on Dalton Connect for like not
I
shooting.
ended up seeing that clip right after you
saw
talked about it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There's a clip that JJ called a timeout because he was pissed that Dalton Connect didn't run the play correctly. Right. And that's something in the Wizards organization that's just not happening right now. I'm assuming that their coach will get fired because it seems to me like they're just playing like playground basketball.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's frustrating because like I want to see my team compete against like that's why you know sometimes the product that the NBA puts out can be frustrating, right? Because you want to see your team compete against really good teams. The Lakers are playing the Knicks tonight. I don't know if we won the game. But we were playing them well in the first quarter before I hopped on here.
Y'all are
we're up 7 right now. 7 minutes left. But yeah, this is a game, for example, I would have loved to have been really engaged in watching, but I'll take the wins wherever I can get them. I think it's again, over the next couple games, it'll really be about how LeBron can initiate offense, whether or not we can play defense as a team good, and then also our bench players. So like Shake Milton, Dalton Connect, Jackson Hayes, guys like that. Or Jackson Hayes is starting right now, but you know he's been on the bench for most of the season whenever AD's in there. How can those guys play off of LeBron, and how can they supplement our team? And that's really going to be the ultimate question that we'll have to ask ourselves going on these next few games. It seems like we're getting the answers to that though, because we're beating one of the better teams in the NBA actually. Sure. And again, this kind of goes to show you where the Lakers are. We can beat good teams. Do I think we would beat the Knicks in a 7-game series because we can't guard for 7 games? I think it's kind of like a seesaw, right? Like I think one night the Lakers play really good defense, and then another night they don't play really, they don't play good defense. They don't play team defense. They aren't communicating. So it's just tough because I know what we are right now, and that's kind of an inconsistent team. I think for us to reach the finals this season, we'll have to be consistent. We'll need to beat a very, very good team in the Western Conference Finals. I think we can get to the Western Conference Finals, though, but I don't know if I keep saying I don't know if we'll win. But for us to be able to do that, we need to play consistent defense and be structured.
Yeah. And I was about to say, I think with, like you said, your bench players stepping up, Shake Milton had a great game against the Wizards. I think he dropped like 21. Yeah, he had 21.
Yeah, if you guys don't, I mean, Shake Milton's been good, though.
Yeah.
For, like, years.
Yeah.
He just on the Nets, on the Sixers. On the Sixers was probably when he was best, if you guys remember him. But he's always been good. Just never gets a chance to play.
Right.
He's getting a chance to play on the Lakers, so.
Yeah. What have you thought about Rui Hachimura?
Yeah, he's been awesome. I didn't talk about him today, but he's been awesome all year. I think he's been awesome since he got traded from the Wizards. He was going off, too. Against the Wizards, obviously, because it's kind of a revenge game. But I think, they were just dumb for trading him. I don't know why they did that because, to me, he kind of seems like somebody who could potentially be an all-star maybe if he figures it out and kind of puts things together.
I agree.
He has the skill, the athleticism. He had a couple fadeaway jumpers that were super sweet. I don't really know where he's learning that from. Probably LeBron.
I was going to say, probably
LeBron. But yeah, to answer your question, I think Rui and Austin Reeves have been the X factors. I told you Austin Reeves has probably been our best player, but Rui's probably been our second best player in terms of like expectations. And again, I don't know why the Wizards. I love the Wizards. If you guys are watching the Wizards or you're a Wizards fan, I feel for you. But like, some of the front office questions, like the Bradley Beal no trade clause and like that trade, that seemed a little iffy to me. I thought that Rui was like one of their better picks that they had made.
Yeah.
Like in my
100%.
opinion, over the last 5 to 10 years, the Rui Hachimura pick from the Wizards was one of the better decisions that front office has made, and it was stupid to trade him.
Yeah.
I think the ESPN, I'll never forget the ESPN Plus grade for it was like a D-, and I was like, no.
D-
like,
for y'all or just
for us?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, like Rui's pretty good, bro.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that they get a lot of players like that. I feel like being
the Lakers,
the Wizards.
Oh yeah.
They get
they
players,
get rid of them.
Yeah, like Denny.
Yeah,
Avita. He's been having a great
obvious,
season.
Awesome. Yeah,
Like
that's another great player that they had and just traded for pretty much no reason.
Nothing. Yeah, and it's like what is the
What's the point?
point?
Yeah, that's why I say that if you're a Wizards fan, you're probably frustrated because I would be asking kind of like, what's the point? When the Lakers traded for Dorian Finney-Smith, there's a reason for that, right?
Right.
When we traded for Shake Milton, there's a reason for that. When we traded for Roy, there's a reason for that, right?
Yeah.
Like we're not doing anything that to me that's like unstable. I think it's kind of just we're trying to make, like I said, championship moves to improve our roster. But yeah, bro, great game. I think the Wizards are just bad.
Yeah.
But
I was about to say, what do you think? Like, obviously, the goal.
they're like 6-40.
Yeah. What is their goal? Like, what are they trying to do?
I think they're just trying to get a good pick. I mean, I don't.
But even then,
Oh, you mean in the future? I don't know.
I guess
don't
like
know.
yeah, like 5.
I don't
10
think. Yeah, I don't
like,
think.
what is the? Because even if you get this good pick,
Yeah,
is
that's a good question. I mean, we talked about their core. I think Koulibaly, Sarr. If Bud can figure it out, I think Jordan Poole will be.
Yeah, I
there.
would say, you think Poole's gonna be there?
I think Kuzma will get traded one day.
Right.
I think they'll keep Joe Val. And I think they'll just try to figure it out from there. I think.
Because like unless they drop the bag on someone, I don't think free agents are gonna want to go.
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
right?
Nobody really wants to. That's a great question.
Or like maybe like someone that becomes a free agent that has like something to prove,
right?
That is like on the come up
Yeah.
or something. Like I feel like that's like a Jalen Brunson to New York type. Like
Yeah,
maybe not
like-
even to that extent.
Like
you
you're
don't
saying,
need to
like
be-
somebody needs to prove something. They want to kind of show that they're the main
Like,
one.
yeah, that one, yeah.
Yeah, bro. But I just think that like you're saying, they're in a deeper spot than just 2 draft picks out. Like
Right.
I think they're 5 years away from
Yeah.
from having any success. But
That
yeah,
sucks too.
well-
It's crazy how like you remember when Kyle Kuzma said like, oh yeah, you don't want to be that team like to the Pistons last year. Now the Wizards are that team.
Yeah, I think they're playing well tonight. I think you know what, to like not harp on them too much. They play hard.
No,
and
yeah,
they play
it's-
fast. Like I think watching the Wizards is interesting. Like they just have no structure, so it's interesting to watch a team try to like win a basketball game with like no structure. But yeah, I think they don't really know what they're doing either. I think they're kind of just hoping they get a good draft pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
It's tough, huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah, because I mean, realistically, that draft pick is. I mean, they might be a great draft pick, but are they gonna catapult you to playoff contention?
Right. And I think like ultimately when you have a team that's doing this bad, you have to kind of be honest with yourself and be like, okay, well, can we fix this in 2 years? Probably not. So like you have to start looking at it. You have to start going out on a further scale, right? That's why I said 5 years, 10 years. Like I think the Wizards are thinking more of like that. And while that's okay, I don't think that's the answer to success this year. Obviously, that's why they're 6-40. But yeah, they're kind of that team that's like, this is a free win.
Yeah, no, dead ass. It's really how it is. It sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. I think they're like I'm saying, if you're a Wizards fan, hopefully you guys still have hope. But I know it's been tough this season. I mean, it's been tough for me, but at least we're fifth seed in the West.
I would say
like,
yeah, y'all are in a good spot.
we're a pretty good team.
Yeah.
It's just whenever, like I said earlier, 10 minutes ago now, but whenever we do play these teams, it frustrates me because I want us to work on certain things. I think last night or 2 nights ago, it was a good kind of like example of what we should be doing against the Wizards. Like we should piss on them by 40 and then also like play good defense. So hold them under 100 points. That's exactly what we did. So I don't really have any complaints. I think my only complaint is like we seem to struggle to guard guards. Again, I've said this before. Yeah, like but Jordan Poole, cooking, But yeah, I pray for the Wizards. I think they're an interesting team.
Very.
Yeah, very interesting. But yeah, man, did you watch any other games tonight, or was it just that one?
Yeah, it was
just
just
the Thunder?
Yeah, it was just that one. I wasn't able to watch any.
Fair enough.
Were you watching?
Nah, bro, I didn't. Let's see, there was none this morning, right? Like none. Yeah,
I
so
think the earliest one was 4, I believe.
yeah, I was doing stuff from 2 to 6 today. I had fallen asleep a little bit, but
Yeah.
kind of I want to go around the NBA if you're down. We can
Yeah.
talk about some of the teams we got. So
Yeah, for sure.
like I was saying earlier, kind of in the intro, but we're just trying to go around, talk about your favorite team. Hopefully, that's the ultimate goal with these segments is just trying to discuss kind of what's going on with the specific team and what their future is looking like and how they're doing so far. But I'll kind of just jump right into it. I think I'm going to talk about the Knicks. So currently, right now, they're actually losing. We said that a couple minutes ago as well. I think it's like 117, 104. So they might end up losing this game. But outside of that, they have been 7-3 over the last 10. They've been playing extremely good basketball. I think the Knicks earlier in the season, there was a lot of question marks on what they were going to be, right? So you trade for, or it was what they traded. So if you guys don't know, they traded 5 first-round picks to get McCall Bridges and Cat, which is a lot. Mm-hmm. They don't have any more picks. So when you trade those, those types of assets to get those players, they need to immediately be good. The first 2 weeks of the season, they weren't good, right? Mm-hmm. So there was kind of panic mode. Oh, the Knicks going to be good. What's going on? Whatever. I think Cat's been good all year. That's one person I'll talk about for a little second. I think he's been their best player. Mm-hmm. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so I thought it was going to be Brunson this year, but it hasn't. It's just Cat's.
Hey, Brunson still has his moments, too. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we know
what if you're a Knicks fan, bro, Brunson gets you 30 and you're happy, but I guess my question is, like, are you surprised by that? I'm more surprised by the Cat's
production. Yeah, no, for sure.
I'm not but that's the point. I think if you're watching the Knicks right now, you're like really happy with. I think you guys know what Brunson's going to be and how he does in the playoffs. That's not like ever going to change. But to get this version of Cat, and so I think it took a month for them to figure it out. I think McCall Bridges on Christmas is when he figured it out. I don't know why that game was such a big deal, but I think since from then he's been the McCall Bridges that we've grown to know and love. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, I think that they're in the third best position in the East in terms of winning a championship, probably Cavs being the first and then the Celtics being the second. I think the Knicks are right there. Mm-hmm. So if you're a Knicks fan, you guys should be extremely proud of your team. I think they have a chance to go to the NBA Finals this season, and that's all you can hope for. I know James Dolan is kind of like Ishbia. He's all in, chips all in on the table, willing to trade all their assets, basically pissed away the future. Yeah, if you do that, you have to get a championship, and ultimately they've been playing that way over the last month or so, calendar month. I think when you look at the Knicks as a whole and their body of work, it kind of spells trouble because they haven't been consistent. I think the last 2 seasons, they just haven't been able to get over the hump in the playoffs. And I think there's an issue with Tom Thibodeau and the amount of minutes that he plays his players. I think that impacts them in the playoffs. I'm not an expert and I'm not a doctor. I don't know if that's true, but just from my observations, every single season they seem to kind of get gassed in the playoffs, and that's my only 2 concerns. But outside of that, bro, to me, the Knicks have been a top 5 team in the NBA, and if you're a Knicks fan, again, you're like extremely excited. I think the Knicks have been waiting to have a team this good. They've been waiting to have a big that's good too. They haven't had a really good big in a while, and now they have an all-star big. He's starting.
Yeah.
So
2 all-star starters.
Yeah, 2 all-star starters. I mean, we'll talk about that, but I think Brunson deserves it.
Yeah.
It's fine, but I just think the Knicks are in a great spot, and I think again, this loss against the Lakers, it's not a reflection of how they've been playing recently, but yeah, they took an L to a better team. I mean, what can you say? I'm already speaking it into existence, but yeah, this season has been it was a roller coaster for the first month, but now it's kind of like you guys are just ascending, and the bumps in the road are kind of just bumps in the road. But I think the All-Star break will be really telling. I think the second half of their season is a lot harder than the first half, so we'll see. I think whenever they play teams like the Thunder, teams like the Celtics, teams like the Cavs, they don't always win, but you guys can see how good they are. I think when they competitively lose or they do scrape out a win, that's when you can see that the Knicks are kind of serious contenders. And to end it off, and my little rant off is I just think people should take them seriously. I think when they get into the playoffs, I just think if you're a team, or like Philly too, Philly won't be in the playoffs this season. That's cool. I think next year though, if they do get in the playoffs, like that's kind of a team that reminds me of the Knicks. Like you don't think that they're gonna potentially go to the conference finals, whatever, but you need to watch out for them for sure because they've had a lovely season, and obviously you can add anything if you want to, but
you did it perfectly, bro. Like I think they have a really great chance of making it to the NBA finals, especially this season.
The best chance they've had ever.
Yeah.
So
100%.
If you're a Knicks fan, bro, that's why I keep saying
it might, like you said, my only worry is, I mean, it's been something with any Tom Thibodeau team. It sucks.
Right, the minutes,
The minutes, bro. Like, I don't know. obviously, like you said, I'm not. We're not coaches. We're not doctors. So what do we know? But like, obviously, it has to be something. If every single year your players are getting injured in the playoffs,
right?
Like,
Yeah.
and it's like it may be nagging injuries throughout the season.
Brunson
but
broke his hand last year in the playoffs.
he did.
And still played.
And then I'm pretty sure like Josh Hart was beat up the whole
Yeah,
playoff.
he's beat up the whole playoffs.
But I don't know.
Josh Hart's been awesome too. We didn't
He's
talk
been
about
amazing.
him, but
Yeah, I feel like he's been
been their
a
second best
huge,
player.
yeah, I would say huge reason why they have been doing so well this season.
yeah. Well, that was another one to me that I don't know why he got traded. You know, that's stupid. But it's okay. I mean, he's on the Knicks now. I mean, we got the Villanova boys, and
Right.
obviously, I feel bad for DiVincenzo, but
Yeah.
I can't. I think that they made that trade with the intention of what's happening, right?
His like
with getting you trade DiVincenzo and Randall, pick whatever to get Cat and a pick back, whatever. That's fine, but if it doesn't materialize, you're screwed. Luckily, the Lakers, the Knicks were able to have that materialize. The Timberwolves haven't, right? But when you're a team and another team struggling, and that's not your concern, right?
Right.
So as long as the Knicks kind of understand what they have in Cat and they trust him to do well in the playoffs, we'll see whenever. That's another thing too. Cat is not the best playoff performer. We'll have to see in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think Brunson
is going to.
Yeah, Brunson's gonna do his thing, but yeah, man, one of the best offensives in the league. They play okay defense, like CJ's saying though. They just play their starters all game, so they're a 7-man rotation, and they're a 7-man rotation in the regular season, and that can lead to issues in the playoffs, especially whenever games get tight and guys have to play.
Yeah.
Maybe 48 minutes, right? Because it's a double overtime game.
Yep.
That those happen. So
Yeah.
If you're a Knicks fan, you should be excited though.
Yeah.
I think they've waited a long time, and it's good. One last question for you. You think the NBA, wants the Knicks to do well because they haven't done so well in a while? And
Yes.
out of all the big markets, I think they're the only. Well, them and Philly, I guess you could say, but I know the Knicks for sure haven't won a championship in this decade.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. When was the last time? They haven't won since like the 70s,
70s,
right?
yeah,
That's
the
how I
70s.
was thinking because I know they went to the finals. Was it like early 2000s?
Yeah, and they went. I know they went to the
99.
They went to in the 90s. They went to the Eastern Conference Finals 3 times. Lost 3 times, I think, to Jordan. Or twice to Jordan. Then in the 2000s, I think they went, but it was early 2000s.
Yeah, they won in 70 and 73.
Okay.
And then pretty sure it's going to say they went. It was that lockout season, 98, 99.
Yeah.
I think that was the year. Or my fault. 99, 2000 is when they went to the finals.
Okay. Yeah, so it's been a while.
It's been a while, yeah.
It's been a while. So I feel that in the atmosphere when I watch Knicks games, I can kind of tell people are antsy. If you guys, and I said this before, I think on a past pod too, just catch it, bro. If you have League Pass, just catch one with Mike Breen, bro. Like you can do it on the road too.
Yeah.
Like he calls the games like whenever they were playing the Thunder. They were playing at OKC, but I was listening to the Breen cast because obviously Mike Breen's a legend.
Goat, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I, let me ask you one more question
Go
just
ahead,
to
bro.
see what you think. Where do you think Jalen Brunson ranks in like new Knicks players of all time?
All time? Probably like within the top 10. I'm not sure. He's only been there for 2 years.
Right.
So I don't want to put him over Ewing yet or something, right? But
Right.
I think at the end of potentially when he finishes his career, he'll probably be one of the better Knicks of all time.
You think
I would
if
say
he
he's like 5 probably.
I would say you think if he
There's
brings a chip with that, put him up there?
Probably, but I'll be honest. I don't think the Knicks are gonna win a championship.
No, yeah, neither do I. I was just being like theoretical.
You were just asking?
Yeah. Because I feel like
Yeah.
that's obviously something like Bernard King, right? Was
Yeah.
the last guard.
I would say he's better though than Brunson
yeah,
for the
100%.
Knicks at least.
Yeah. Is
You know what I'm
is
saying?
Brunson better than Melo? What he was doing for them?
Nah, not yet. I think Brunson's close. I mean, Brunson can make All NBA this season. I don't think he's missed too many games, but My thing is, you just have to do it for like a long time.
Yeah.
So he still hasn't been on the team for 5-6 years. Like if he had been on the team for 5-6 years by now, like yeah, but he could get traded next season or whatever. So I don't know, especially with how the NBA is, shapes out to be. I'm not sure.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Would you like to chat about the Bulls, my man?
Yeah, let's do it.
You know what's going on with them?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, if you guys don't know, obviously we're going to the Windy City. Yeah. So this team is interesting. They're also in the East. The Bulls are, in my opinion, I think they're in a lot better spot than people realize, just because they know where they're going. So over the last 10, they've been horrible. I think they're 3-7, maybe 2-8. Point is their goal is to lose games. They've been doing that. I think the trade with Giddey signaled to me that they were going in a different direction. They were looking for playmaking, a true point guard, whatever. If you guys do watch any Bulls games, you'll see that they play slow. Yeah. So it's not like interesting, but they play very slow. Zach LaVine and Vucevic are their best players. Those two guys have had the best season of their careers this year, efficiency-wise. Not numbers-wise, but efficiency-wise. It's interesting to see what those guys will be if they're trade pieces. Maybe they can get some assets for them, whatever. Montez Buzelis looks really interesting. Kobe White looks amazing. Mm-hmm. I think Kobe White was a hit. That was a good bullseye. Yeah, that's a bullseye.
UNC's finest.
Yeah. Like CJ was saying, like it's just he's good. Straight good. So you get another guard. I mean, he's been playing pretty good this season. He had a dunk on Wemby that you guys probably saw. Mm-hmm. That was pretty crazy. But what I like about what the Bulls are doing is that they just know the direction that their team needs to go in, and that shows on the product on the floor. They're trying to lose games. They're not trying to be, a top 6 seed in the East right now. I think they can try to fight for a play-in spot, but ultimately, I want to say they're like 10th, right? Yeah. So they're in the play-in right now, but they're, it's interesting because they want a high draft pick for sure, and they're trying to build around Buzelis and Giddey and Kobe White and potentially Zach LaVine and Vucevic, but to me, those are two players that you should try to, trade off of, if you can.
Get some good assets
you can
them.
Get some picks or players or something like that.
Right.
I don't watch a ton of Bulls games, but I do say anytime I do watch the Bulls, I'll say that they always play scrappy defense, and they're always seeming to be, in the mix. They're not like a rollover type of team. They're very rugged. They play well together. I think they need leadership as well. I think it's tough whenever you have guys like DeRozan leave that are, not to say LaVine's not a leader, but he's a veteran. I think he's more of a vet than like a leader. Mm-hmm. He's not like a vocal locker room type of guy, whereas, DeRozan was more of that for them, and I think they're lacking that right now. Ultimately, they're not doing too bad if they're in a play-in spot, right? I think a lot of teams right now, like the Nets, the Hornets, right, the Raptors, like they wish they could all kind of be in the mix fighting for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
But, ultimately, if you're a Bulls fan, I think you're excited for the future. Obviously, you guys had like the Derrick Rose thing going on too, so having his jersey get retired is probably pretty cool if you're a Bulls fan. But you guys have been waiting a long time too to go to the playoffs, and be I think LeBron was kind of, he was hitting that buzzer beater over Jimmy Butler. Mm-hmm. Like that, I remember that was the last time when the Bulls were like consistently in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And so I know you guys are just trying to get back. I think they're averaging over the last 10 games like 113 points, so they're not scoring a lot. Mm-hmm. And that's a recipe essentially for disaster in the NBA if you aren't able to score points, just because, games are so high scoring nowadays. So you have to be able to hit threes. They're not the best 3-point shooting team. But yeah, I think when I was doing my original thought on the Bulls, I thought they were going to be like a team that didn't really, like every single season, it seems to me like they don't really know what they're doing. I think this is the first year where I've been like, okay, they know what's going on. Like they know what to do. I think last season when you have DeRozan, LaVine, Caruso, you're trying to figure it out.
Kobe White kind of had his like breakout season
Kobe
that
White.
year.
Yeah, I think they were trying to become a playoff team too early, and it just wasn't working. And I think they're trying to figure out now, okay, where can we go from here? How can we improve our roster to make it better? And ultimately, I think that's what they've been doing. Even though they haven't been winning the games, I think if you're looking towards the future, you have a forward-looking thought process on what you want to do and how you want to go about it, then more power to you. I also think, Coach Donovan's a cool dude.
Yeah.
And he's not going to lose his job for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to say kind of just my analysis of them, kind of piggybacking off what you're saying. They know their direction, but I feel like their players have been producing a lot better than what they were expecting. And they're not winning a lot of games, but they're, like you said, they're still in the mix to make a play in. And I feel like, especially for them, when they were trying to tank, essentially, it's like they're in a weird spot because it's like we're kind of winning these games. What are we?
They're winning enough in the East,
right? So it's kind of a weird situation for them, but obviously they're trying to get a high draft pick, and hopefully they can, whatever. Like, you think if they make the playoffs, is that? I mean, obviously making playoffs is a huge thing, but is that not the direction they were trying to go in? So is it?
No, I think no. I think if they make the play, and that's great. I think if they're the 10th seed or the 9th seed, cool. Like I think the Bulls have been that. The Bulls have been like the 9 or 10 the last. I think they've been in the play-in every year. It started since it started, so for 3 years.
Yeah,
they're gonna be in it again most likely.
Right.
That's just where they live. But I think like. What was I trying to say? Patrick Williams. There's a couple players on the team that I think should just get traded for stuff now.
Right.
So like Vucevic, Levine, Patrick P. Will, right? Probably not Kobe White. I'd say Kobe White's untouchable.
Is Giddey untouchable?
No, but Buzelis is untouchable. Yeah, I think those are the only 2 untouchable players. Probably everybody else is free game.
Yeah. Who's the dude I'm thinking of? Damn, what's his name? He's not even on here.
It's been cool to see Lonzo.
Ayo Dosunmu.
Ayo, yeah, no. So Ayo, from Illinois, out of high school, really good scoring guard. He's more of a defensive player in the NBA.
Yeah,
I think that's what's cool about Ayo is like he can score 20 points. He was doing that 2 years ago, but I think the Bulls, what they need from him is not that.
Yeah.
So Ayo, I think he's not an untouchable, but he's pretty safe. I
Right.
think they want to build around him as well. But another key thing too, shout out Lonzo, man. I don't know how you come back from those injuries and look the way that you look, but you look like you're healthy and you're having fun, and ultimately that's what it's all about. I know Bulls fans are excited for that too, because he's a very instinctual player. He's not the same type of player as LaMelo. Obviously, he's a little bit less shifty, not as good of a shot, but he's way smarter.
Yeah.
He just has a better IQ. So it's interesting to watch him play as well, and kind of how they've been able. It's cool that the Bulls didn't give up on him. A lot of teams would have traded that, like would have just given up on you. But it's cool that their staff didn't. So I'm happy for him. But yeah, like you're saying, I think when they look back on the season and they go, "Oh, we're the 10th seed." They'll be like, "Oh, that's okay." As long as we have pick 12 or pick 11, and we'll be fine. As long as we can trade, get assets back in return. Because you have to remember the Bulls have always done a good job of just never trading too many picks and not being stupid. And
that's true.
trading 2030s and like doing what the Suns are doing, swapping 2031s and all this ridiculous stuff. Like it's not beneficial. Especially if you're not going to win the NBA championship. Like I think it's one thing for the Knicks to do that or the Suns to do that, right? But when the Bulls are in a position where they don't even have any All-Stars, right? So there's no reason to push all your chips on the table. It's a wild league we have right now. I think a lot of teams are either A, trying to tank, or B, trying to win the championship. No in between though. So it's weird.
Yeah.
Because somebody's got to fall in between. But going into my next team, man, the Pelicans, the New Orleans Pelicans. If you're a Pelicans fan, I apologize to you. The DeJounte Murray injury, that sucks.
Out for the season.
I'm not surprised about that though. He
Bro, he hasn't been healthy since he left San Antonio.
I was gonna say he's a great player, but he's kind of always been an injury-prone type of dude, and like CJ's saying, he hasn't always been super healthy. I think since he made the all-defensive teams, he hasn't been really the same defensive player. I actually think he's gotten better offensively.
Yes.
He's a better offensive player than when he was on the Spurs or the
Yeah,
Hawks.
100%.
Yeah, that injury sucks.
Yes.
I think Yves Missi is making you guys really happy. I think Trey
Trey
Murphy. Yeah, I
Murphy.
think Trey Murphy makes you guys really happy. Obviously, like Jose, a couple other guys, but Herb too, right? I think Herb is cool because he doesn't say a word, but he's been in the playoff. He's a battle tested kind of veteran now at this point.
Yeah.
He's been through a couple playoff series. You know, you guys have seen Herb obviously hooping, and obviously, you know, like with the stuff going on with BI and Zion, it's a lot for them. I think that's kind of the main gist of what we'll talk about now is when your two best players don't really want to play for the organization, it can be tough. You know, I think if you're a Pelicans fan, you have to be happy with your 12 wins. 12 is kind of a lot for how disorganized your team is right now. If you watch them play basketball, they're still very I think like what CJ was saying, I think Trey Murphy's probably the focal point of their offense right now. And it's cool because, you know, he's actually good. So you guys can see him. He shoots well. He has a nice looking jumper. It's smooth. He's a great player. It says he's averaging 20 against Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he can get you
22 for the season.
Yeah, 22 for the season. Like he can get you 20 a game for sure. But I think when your two highest paid players aren't playing at their highest level and they're also taking up half the balance sheet, that's an issue. And I think Zion Williamson probably should be traded. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you guys. I wish that pick was like a great pick, but it just hasn't ended up being a great pick. So, I mean, it's tough. I think Zion's a great player. I just don't know if he's available, right? So, and that's the tough thing is I think he's played less than 30 games this season.
Dude, he's played 13 games.
Yeah. So less than half. I think a third of the season, which isn't honestly at this point. Whenever he's out there, I'm just happy he's out there, right? I think that Ant was joking with him whenever he saw him playing his first game back. He was like, "Oh, you're here now, right?" Like, because Zion will come back from these injuries for 6 months and just still be doing his thing. Like he never got hurt.
I don't know if you saw it. It was like someone interviewed him or something and said, "Oh, are you happy?" Because I guess he hasn't been playing back-to-backs.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Are you happy that your next 6 games aren't back-to-back, so you'll be able to play all six games?" And he was like, "Oh, well, if it was my choice, like I would be playing all these games, but the Pelicans are my boss, so I do what they say."
Yeah.
Did you
No,
see that?
I think they're just trying to be cautious with this trade value. That's why they're holding him off back-to-backs, is they don't want him getting hurt on a back-to-back, and then his trade value plummets. Like, it makes sense. Yeah, let him play, though.
Right.
But just from a structural and organizational standpoint, I don't really know the direction this team is going in.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. If you're a Pelicans fan, you're probably on panic alert a little bit right now because you went all in with the DeJounte Murray trade, right? You went all in with trying to get Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. Now your only options are to trade those guys, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying trade them tomorrow, whatever. We do have a deadline though.
Yeah.
So
It's coming up soon.
Yeah, it's coming up soon. My thoughts are probably trade Brandon Ingram, or Zion. In my opinion, if you had to trade one or the other, it would probably be Zion. I think BI is a much more available, polished, veteran-like player. No offense to Zion, but to me, he just seems really athletic, and that's about it. I don't think he'll ever develop a three-point shot, which you need in the NBA. But yeah, just their roster guys, when you have Daniel Tice, Alfred Payton, Robinson Earl, who honestly is probably one of their better bench players, but used to play on the Thunder. You know, he's just in the depths of New Orleans now. I think Brandon Boston's one of their more interesting players that they have. This guy was an ex-Clipper. He kind of reminds them of Brandon Ingram a little bit. A longer, skinnier, kind of like a mini KD a little bit. The Pelicans are just in a place where they can figure out what they have, and hopefully that's enough. I think Jordan Hawkins, Trey Murphy, Yves Missi,
Herb
are all untouchable, most likely.
Which, like, that's solid.
That's solid.
Yeah, that's like...
Yeah, like dude, we've talked about, like, the Pelicans go to the play. Like, they're solid.
They're
They've been
always,
a solid
like,
organization.
always
They
playing, like you said.
Yeah, they
like,
have a good team.
Yeah.
Like, those all four of those guys, to me, are untouchable. Like, they're future assets where in the future they're going to be valuable. Like, I know Jordan Hawkins can score. Trey Murphy can score. Misi can do everything. And then Herb can do everything. So, yeah, those four dudes are untouchable most likely, but I think the Pelicans need to trade their other guys, and they're just reluctant to do so. And that's something they're going to have to move past because the product you guys are putting out on the court isn't good.
Right.
I think they've lost 8 of their last 10 as well. Something like that. They're 2-8 as well. Yeah, 6-game losing streak.
Going against the Nuggets.
Yeah, so it's just...
Couple days.
Yeah, it's tough when... Especially pre-All-Star break, right? So the All-Star reserves came out. We'll get into that in our next segment, but... Like, guys are feeling good, they're happy, whatever. Like, it's tough to, like, look for trades, right? You don't want to jar up team chemistry. You don't want to go into the second half of the season with a new roster.
Yeah.
But the Pelicans are just in the middle, and that's not a place you want to be in the NBA. I think that's a good way to say it. You don't want to be in the middle in the NBA.
Yeah.
I think the Pelicans are in the middle. The Lakers are sort of in the middle. Like, we just beat the Knicks tonight by 16 points, right? But we will win. We'll beat the Jazz by 1. You know? So, like, where's the – on the road, too. So, where's the consistency, right? Like, I know it's a night-to-night thing, a case-by-case basics. The Pelicans probably aren't 12-37.
No.
When they're fully healthy, right, they're probably a 7 seed in the West, which says a lot about where you guys' roster is if it's healthy. That's the question, though. Are you guys healthy? No.
Yeah, I don't think they've ever really been
healthy, right?
Yeah.
And that's something where, again, you have to look to get off CJ. You have to look to get off, Zion, BI. Like, it's just time to make new changes. And every time I watch the Pelicans, you're reminded of that because they have Jordan Hawkins, they have Herb, they have all these other guys that are doing so well that I'm like, you could just suck for 3 years and just let these guys play and figure out kind of how they want to be instead of trying to be like, well, we have Brandon Ingram, but he doesn't.
Zion.
Brandon Ingram doesn't want to play for us.
Yeah.
Zion's hurt all the time, so he can't play for us.
Right.
And DeJounte Murray's, a $50 million player, and he can't play for us. Like, he's hurt. It's a lot. But I think if you're a Pelicans fan, you should look towards the future, try to be realistic. Pelicans front office needs to, like, get the memo that the middle is no good, and like in the NBA, you just want to make sure that whatever you're doing, whatever you're trying to achieve, that's happening in the present moment. If not, you don't know what you're doing. And I think the present moment right now for the Pelicans looks like they're waking up, playing the game. If they win or lose, they're kind of like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
There's no purpose to me behind what they're doing anytime I watch them. So I'm sorry that's honestly probably the most negative thing I've said about any 3 of the teams, but the Pelicans are in the worst spot of all 3, unfortunately.
Who, even if they trade Zion, who do you think would want him? Or like, do you think a team would even take a chance on him?
Yeah. I think you have to. That's a great question. What team I see him going to? I could see him going to like the Kings, honestly, or like I don't know, man. Like the Spurs too. There's a couple teams that I could see him going to just because I feel like he fits in certain systems that allow him to be, again, a non-shooter and just somebody who dunks the ball. Like that's where Zion needs to go. The Pelicans aren't that. The Pelicans don't have they have snipers around, but they don't have the types of players that Zion needs to be around. He needs to be around just players that could shoot. They don't clog the paint. They're not looking to get their own shot. Like everybody kind of needs to do his own thing for him to be successful. But yeah, bro, I don't know. I think they've been calling, and I'm sure they've been getting caught up because other teams don't want that.
Right.
So yeah, it's a give or take world. It's a bartering world. I think Ingram's definitely probably the most valuable asset they have. But
it's like you'd want him on your team.
Yeah,
so it's like
somebody called me about Brandon Ingram, I would want him.
Right.
Because I know he'll play. He plays in the playoffs. I think the playoff struggles too, man, for the Pelicans have been just so I know this isn't this season, but just in general, it seems like to me that they get haunted by that. But it is what it is, man. I pray for you if you're a Pelicans fan. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man. I guess kind of going into what you were saying a little bit earlier, the All-Star reserves dropped. I guess you just want to go through the list.
Yeah, we can go through the list and we'll talk about
talk about everything. See what you think, your thoughts, any snubs or whatever. We could get into it. I guess kind of just
there's definitely some.
Yeah.
Like there's some that are kind of egregious too.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that. So I guess we'll start off the Eastern Conference reserves. Damian Lillard, Darius Garland, Jaylen Brown, Cade Cunningham, Tyler Herro,
Yes, sir.
Evan Mobley, and Pascal Siakam.
Yeah, so that list is actually really good. Besides Pascal,
Yeah.
I think Trey should be on there or LaMelo.
Yes.
Outside of that, though, I mean, all those guys. I think K being on there and Tyler Hero being on there kind of shows you, like what we were talking about this season. If you're hooping, your first time hooping like this, you're gonna be the all-star, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think we'll talk about that with J-Dub. But if you're hooping for real, like it don't really matter. The Pistons aren't even that good, right?
Yeah.
They're good. They're above 500, but they're not like that
Yeah.
good. But K being in there is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think Hero being in there is also awesome. Lo sent me the video of his reaction.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw that.
I saw
but It
that.
was posted by the Heat. It was really cool because like Ernie does them. So like they announced them on TNT and like the players don't know.
Yeah.
Right? So they watch
They're
too.
watching
Right?
it.
Yeah. Like they don't get told before or anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I kind of like how the NBA does that. They don't like email Tyler Hero like,
Yeah.
oh,
Like you
gotta
find out when everyone else
you find
does.
out when you find out. Yeah, exactly, bro. So, he found out, and that's dope because those guys are first-time All-Stars. Obviously, Pascal's not a first-time All-Star though,
No,
and
he's
I don't
not.
really know why he's in there.
Yeah,
he hasn't
me
had
either.
a crazy season. He's not. It seems to me like he was just a replacement forward.
Mhm.
But I don't.
You know who I think they probably like took out. Well, this is like a little stretch, but you think like who they
Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, so I was gonna say that, man. I think that is who they took out. Recently had that injury.
Mm-hmm.
Sad thing because he probably potentially might have been
yeah.
an all-star, but you gotta make a switch.
Right.
The East is kind of thin on forwards for sure.
Yeah, let's say Paulo, Franz both got injured.
Yes.
They probably would have been.
They would have been in there
for sure.
Yeah, so I like it.
Yeah.
I don't.
I was
love-
gonna say my biggest gripe is just that LaMelo didn't get in. Obviously, he has better stats than all.
Why do you
of the
think that
guys.
is? Just because the Hornets suck? Because I don't think that's a good enough reason. I don't
Neither
think
do
they
I.
suck that. They don't suck enough to where he shouldn't be an all-star.
Right. That I don't know. That's my
the
thing.
point.
I was gonna ask you about it. Like, are they? I feel like they base the All Stars off of like their record, their team's record, and like it's kind of
Yeah, what's the criteria?
yeah. No one knows.
Yeah, I can't. I wish we were NBA PR, right? This is where the communications between the NBA and the fans needs to improve. What's the criteria for MVP? What's the criteria for this? What's the criteria for that? Yeah, it would be nice to have an explanation, but they're a multi-billion-dollar company, so me and CJ don't get that. But
Right.
yeah, dude. Yeah, to me it seems like they were picking them from win-loss, which is okay. Let's look at the win-loss. So, like, the Hornets have some good wins. Plus, the Hornets would have no wins without LaMelo.
Mm-hmm.
To me, even though he's missed some of the games, I think his games requirement's starting to get a little iffy. He pretty much can't get hurt the second half of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that is frustrating. I think Pascal being there, props to him. It's tough because I don't think it's like they needed a forward, and LaMelo's not a forward, but he is 6'9".
Right.
That's all I'm thinking. I'm like, bro, he's as tall as Pascal, damn near. I mean,
Yeah.
damn near.
Damn near. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, no slight to pass the Spicy P, but Spicy P getting 20 a game on like 7 rebounds, bro.
Yeah.
LaMelo was getting 30 with like 10 assists, bro.
Right. Yeah.
Shooting
It sucks.
40% from deep on like 12 attempts.
Yeah. And I mean, kind of, going off of the team or the reserves that, Darius Garland made it. Shout out to Darius Garland. I just don't think
yeah.
he's having a better season than LaMelo.
LaMelo Ball.
Or even
right?
Trey.
Yeah, or Trey. I was gonna say Trey,
But I think he got in there because of
the
the
wins.
wins.
Yeah.
I mean, they're dominating the league right now.
And you
so
got to think about like
they have
he
3
was
All-Stars.
Yeah, he was getting lobbied for and
So
a lot
I mean,
of politics stuff.
Like I said, there's always going to be snubs. So I hate bringing it up, but I feel like it's always something we talk about, just because someone is going to get left off.
Of course,
it's how it's always been. James was getting left off.
Sabonis got left off.
Yeah.
Bro. Sabonis gets left off every
year, but then he'll make an All NBA team.
Yeah, well, that's where I was. You know, we don't even have to. You don't even have to talk about it that much. But I was gonna tell the audience, like, I think that's what it comes down to, right? It's like, would you rather be an All-Star or make All NBA?
Is that not crazy to you though? That like that's a thing? Because like I asked Steve that.
I think Domantas Sabonis would rather be an All NBA.
No. I understand that. I'm just saying, is that not crazy to you? The fact that one of the best 15 players in your league isn't even an All-Star.
Yeah, well, I think it's more about. Well, this is where you brought up the fan vote a couple podcasts ago. Now, probably like 6, but.
Yeah.
Like what's the criteria for being an all-star, right? What's the 90-10 split, right? Like,
because the reserves are based off of coaches, right?
Right. So that's the thing. So you want the people in the game that the fans want to see.
Right.
If Sabonis doesn't promote himself on social media and all that, like, he's not going to get the votes to even become a starter. And that's where it's up to the coaches, right? I just think that, yeah, the criteria needs to be clarified before you can complain, because we don't even know what to complain off of.
Right.
I don't know how they decided to put Pascal in here. I don't know how they decided to not put Sabonis on there. Like, I don't know what they're going off of.
Right.
But I do know that it's not right. To your point, I think when you, like, for example, you take the Pro Bowl, MLB All-Star game. I think the MLB All-Star game this past year was awesome. We've watched the last, like, 2.
Yeah.
And I would say they've been pretty cool, because what they do is, like, all the pitchers pitch, right? All the batters get a chance to hit. Like, everybody gets to do it. Like, I think Mason Miller he's the Athletics pitcher, and he's their closer. But they put him out there in like the 6th inning, because it's like, like, let's see you pitch, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, I just wish that they had more spots.
Yeah.
That's also JJ talked about this on his pod. They could just add spots. It's okay. You could put guys in for 3 minutes. You know, I'm sure Jokic doesn't mind playing literally 7 minutes, and then you could sit him.
Yeah.
Or if he wants to play because it's close, cool. Like, he's the starter, cool.
Right.
Like, the other dudes will be like, cool. Like,
Yep.
I played all game, like, whatever.
Yeah.
You can go back in. It's close, sure. But yeah, like, Luka doesn't, Luka's not in it, but, like, for guys who don't really care about it, I think they could add spots for people like that. So, like Sabonis, who doesn't get an opportunity very often, that, like, he honestly would care about it too. He would try hard. He would be playing hard in an All-Star game, and that's, like, something I would want to see. So that's an interesting question, man. I wish I had a better answer for you, but that's kind of like my long form.
Yeah, because I had asked Steve like that question, like, oh, has there ever been like an All-Pro like that wasn't on a in a Pro Bowl? And he was like, well, usually with like Pro Bowls, if you make it to the Super Bowl, you're probably not going to be in it anyways. But like majority of those guys that are in a Pro Bowl are probably all pros.
All pros, yeah.
So
and you can obviously, like, for like whenever you do make the Super Bowl, if you do, you can still be like a Pro Bowl selection. You just won't be playing. Right?
Yeah. So you'll be a Pro Bowl selection, but you're not like playing the game and stuff.
Yeah.
But usually those players are on like
All
Pro.
Pro,
so
right.
it's like, damn, it's kind of crazy.
They have it better structured. They have it structurally better.
Yeah.
In the NFL. And for MLB, because
Right.
once again, like those guys, MLB doesn't do superlative like teams.
Oh, really?
They don't do. Well, actually, no. I'm sorry. They do a team of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Just one team of the year. It's like a full. Obviously, it's a full.
Yeah,
but
they have like the golden.
Yeah,
gloves.
they have the golden gloves, stuff like that. But they like the way that their All-Star game is. I literally love it because it literally just gives everybody a chance to play. That's the point.
Yeah,
like, that's literally. I know if, for example, if Jokic doesn't care about it, bro, like he can start, but why would we play him 20 minutes?
Yeah,
you know, when
no reason
Sabonis or Jalen Williams or Şengün's in here for his first time or whatever, like it just doesn't. It doesn't always add up with the NBA, but I think out of this year, the Eastern reserves were pretty spot on.
Yeah, besides, like you said, besides Pascal,
Spicy P, and I know why he made it.
Yeah,
like I know why they had to. Like you're saying, they had to sub him in. But
they were. I think they're the 4th seed in the
like
East
you're saying,
right now.
I think Jalen Johnson was the person. So when he gets hurt literally 2 days before making the decision, you have to put somebody else in.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess kind of going in the West, I mean, we've been talking about them, throughout, but we can obviously say them. For the Western Conference reserves, we have Anthony Edwards, Anthony Davis.
I had him starting. But
James Harden.
I didn't have Harden at all. That was one.
Neither did I.
Yeah, me and you missed. I think that's cool that he made it. He deserves it, bro.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the Clippers yet. We'll talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about them because they've been really good lately.
Yeah,
really good. Triple J, Alfred Sengun. J-Dub, let's go. I got two All-Stars.
Two of them. Yeah. I did too, bro.
I haven't felt like this in a minute, bro.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Since the KD rest or PG rest days.
Yeah, I was gonna say PG rest,
and then obviously KD rest.
Yeah, when I saw that, I'm sure I was like, I know that makes you happy because I know
so
Shea, obviously. Yeah, but like it's like tough because the Thunder definitely have more All-Stars on their team. They just none of those dudes are healthy or
bro.
they don't give it to him, but they gave it to him.
And last but not least, Victor Wembanyama,
right?
Come on,
yeah, bro.
Like I think
that made me happy.
That made me happy.
Yeah, for sure.
And it even with Cade as well, it was cool how they were kind of like promoting them, like, oh, this is their first. Yeah. It was super
Wemby
dope.
was the last one to make it.
He was.
I cannot believe it.
That's crazy.
Like you're saying, like I know he was probably the last person they brought up in that conversation, which like it's crazy that J-Dub's before him, but it makes sense because of what he did last year. Makes sense, but it's just crazy. Like Wemby's still, he's just Wemby. Like he'll be there. I doubt he'll even play that much, which is sad because like they'll probably be playing a lot of those other guys before him. But that's okay. I think
he's gonna be there.
It'll be fun to see him out there.
I was gonna say he's probably gonna be there for a
and I was
gonna
say I think I'm excited for the 2026 because I just hope him and Chet are on the same like thing. That would be cool because I know they'll play together. But I was gonna ask you about that, but I just answered it kind of like my thoughts was like. I don't think they're going to play Wemby that much, even though a lot of people want to see him play.
Yeah.
If you're going to the All-Star game, just be mindful. Like, you probably won't see bro play for 20 minutes. Like, you should just go to a Spurs game if you want to see him play.
I
was going to say, because he's not going to – he's going to be sitting, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks, but, like,
it sucks,
they're not going to let him play.
They're probably going to definitely let Triple J
and bro. Like, they're going to let the dudes who are, like, they have a couple selections or they're before him or they're starting. Like, it'll be tough.
Yeah.
He's a competitor. I'm sure he's going to
he's still going to go out there and probably get 4 blocks.
So are you surprised about Triple J at all? I was going to ask you this.
I was about to say he's been having a really good season, bro.
That's the only one that surprises me a bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly, the only one that I was
instead of Sabonis, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Harden should make it.
I was about to say, honestly, I was going to say I'm kind of like questioning Sengun just because, like, numbers-wise, I just think, it's obviously not the best season, but, like...
he hasn't played amazingly.
And it's just because his team is
so good.
Second team in the West, so they had to pick someone off of that
and he's been, honestly, the last 3 years, he's been, like...
he's been,
like, good. Yeah, he's been, like, pretty good.
Yeah, so I think it's just kind of like... Oh shit! Like who's on this team that like we know we can be an all-star type shit? Because
sheesh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's I think the Triple J thing was interesting for me. I also thought Wemby would be basically. I just thought they would have Wemby and Sabonis and Sengun. I thought Wemby would be the first reserve, but it seems to me like he was like the last one.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
I don't know if is this how they did it, or it looks like it's alphabetical.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I think that's how they did it.
Yeah,
they probably went like that's how it got voted, and so it makes sense because Pascal would be the that's sketchy to me, man. Like because Wemby's been so good, and it's like season. I don't know how him and J-Dub were at the bottom of that list. It's just crazy. It's like asinine. But the West is so good too. I wanted to say that like the West is probably. It's really hard to be an all-star, especially if you're a starter, man. Like, if you're a starter in the West, that says a lot about you. But, yeah, and all of these guys, I think Triple J has been awesome this year. Harden has been awesome, too.
Yeah.
I think we haven't talked about him much, but for me, again, efficiency-wise, kind of for what all the hate that he's been getting over the past couple seasons, I think he's kind of – you don't hear that anymore. It's just he really is like somebody who just needs to kind of be running his own team. I think even Kawhi coming back has helped him get off the ball more, but it's also allowed him to be more assertive too. Because Kawhi is very passive in this stage in his career. He's not looking to like get you 35 anymore. He's kind of just looking to do his job and get out of here. And so I think James Harden's kind of the Clippers' new best player, you could say, go-to player, like somebody they're going to be in the playoffs. That's somebody they're going to look to get the ball. And I just think, obviously he's been rewarded for it this season. I think a lot of people counted him out, and I think he's got 2-3 more years of this too. To be honest, I think he could be an all-star next season. So we'll see.
Yeah. Was there any snubs or anybody you thought should have been in there besides Sabonis? Kyrie?
Nah, man. I was looking at the Reed thing. I think if they want to go with J-Dub instead of Kyrie, that's cool too. I like Gila as a player, but I was saying I think he should be an all-star. I think his efficiency has been great. I think so the reason they chose J-Dub is his defense, right? So Kyrie can't play D as well, pause. And that's okay. He doesn't have the skills on that side of the floor that Jalen Williams does, and ultimately that's how they decide now. If somebody can score me 24 points, but also get me 3 steals, and then you get me 1,
yeah, we're gonna pick.
It's not not personal. It's just it is what it is. Like I saw somebody was calling. So why they put J-Dub over Kyrie? And bro, I seen somebody was like, bro, he averages 3 steals a game.
Yeah.
Something against Kyrie, it's just like J-Dubs actually goes both ways.
Yep.
Like it's literally nothing against Kyrie.
Yeah.
I think Kyrie could have been an all-star just as much as J-Dub. But
for sure.
I think I think again Kyrie can make it next year and J-Dub may not make it.
Yeah, he might not.
It might just be a trade-off thing until he's out of the league. Like, it is what it is. But yeah, I think if you're a guard in the West especially, but a guard in the NBA, I told you the other day, there's not a bad NBA point guard anymore. Right. So it's just hard to get picked. Yeah. But yeah, probably Kyrie.
What about Book?
No. I think Book is just now hooping.
Yeah.
I think, I kind of said that when we did our actual All-Star thing. It's like when I had them on here, I was like, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if Book will make it just because he hasn't been doing super well. People were surprised about Curry. I don't know if you saw like what Perk said about. He was like, I don't think Curry should be an All-Star this season. I was like, really? Damn. Like, okay. But Kyrie, there's a couple other snubs. Like you could say Levine, you could say, Paolo or whoever. But I don't know.
What about Norman Powell?
Yeah, I think Norm got snubbed, but like. Yeah, realistically, again in the West, if you're a forward or a guard, it's just
tough, bro.
It's just tough. I think Norm will probably be
MIP.
Probably.
I think he'll be the oldest MIP winner.
That'll be cool,
That'd
man.
Be cool.
That's kind of that's OG,
right?
And I think he's been playing like it.
Yeah, no, he's having a crazy season.
He's probably the most improved player for sure, and that's honestly opened the Clippers championship window up. Whenever we talk about them, they'll be interesting to talk about.
Yeah, dude, they're honestly really good. Yeah. I catch like Clippers games a lot because they're one of the last.
Y'all right, the 10:30. Yeah, you're right.
Kings every now and then. Yeah, I watch whatever. I think I told you the other night when they went against the Suns. They almost came. Suns won that game, right? Or did the Suns come back?
They came back.
Okay, yeah. So the Clippers were beating them by like 15.
A decent amount, and they made it like within like
4. Yeah, it was crazy. So no, they've been balling out, man.
I saw that too.
Yeah,
I was thinking about this entire ordeal, and I was just like, man, this is crazy. Like the reserve list came out, they had the starters. It's just like now you can kind of see like, damn, okay, these guys, they think that these guys are all-stars. Like these are the all-stars right now, supposedly, and with the new format. It's like you don't really know what to expect, so I'm excited for this year.
Dude,
I don't know what to expect. I don't know how they're gonna do it, how they make the teams and everything. But hopefully going forward, if it's something that ends up being good, I just hope they add spots, bro. Because like I said, if you're gonna do it in this format, you can totally have 8-9 guys on a team per team. And like that allows there to be 30-something all-stars, and while it would be less special per se. Still be dope. Like that's still the 0.1% of the league. So,
yeah, bro.
You had anything else to say about the reserves?
No, I didn't have one to say about these reserves per se, but I wanted to come with a segment. So I'm gonna ask ZD. I'm gonna give him stat lines of these players, and I want him to guess essentially if they were All-Star or not.
not, right.
So I'm gonna say the stats, and I just want him to say All-Star or not. So
All-Star, right.
I'll go through them. I think this might be interesting.
There's ones that might stump me.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's start it off. So this player averaged 17.2 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 2.2 assists. Do you think he was All-Star?
Nah.
He was.
Who was it?
This was Andrew Wiggins, 2021-2022 year.
Yeah, I forgot that he was. That's a good one, honestly.
Right.
That one definitely stump you.
Right.
Because if you don't remember that, then you're cooked.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, he was an All-Star that season. I don't know how.
That was the year they won the chip, right?
Yeah, no. That was the year before.
2022-23 is when they won? Okay, got you. Strange, right?
Yeah, that's weird.
All right.
I forgot that happened.
Yeah, let me give you another one. What about this guy? 22.6 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, and 5 assists.
What year is it from?
This is from 1978.
Shit. Then yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah, this was Pistol Pete.
Okay.
It was in one of his last seasons.
Maybe I won't ask you that again because that might give it away.
Right.
Like if you said the 78, like 22 points in the 70s, I'm
Right.
like, obviously.
For sure.
So my bad.
No, you're good, bro.
Because Pistol Pete was getting to it back then in the booty shorts. That's why I was like, yeah, I was laughing with you.
Yeah, that shit was funny, bro.
Dude, I was laughing about it for like 10 minutes. My girl was like, why are you laughing
geeking?
so hard? I'm like, because he was actually getting to it in booty shorts.
winning a chip and
Yeah,
shit.
like he was doing work, and it was serious. Like
Yeah.
they weren't laughing, like
No,
how we are.
bro.
It was serious.
No, dead ass serious.
So like you're saying, Pistol Pete was getting to it in them booty shorts, bro. Like
Right.
he was doing everything. But yeah, I won't ask that again
Nah,
because I could
you're
give it
good.
away.
So this
That's
next
funny.
one, he averaged 22.5 points, 3.3 rebounds, and 11.4 assists. Was this guy
11.4?
Was this guy an All-Star?
No, I
You're
feel like
right.
he got snubbed.
He got snubbed.
Trey.
Trey.
Yeah.
This year's Trey.
11. Yeah, 11 assists. Yeah, dude, that's insane. Because that's it hasn't been done since Stockton, man. Like 12, 13 assists, per night. So that means he's getting like 20 assist chances per game. It's like it's
ridiculous.
insane. It's insane, and he's not an All-Star still.
All right, go.
He hasn't been an All-Star since when?
23, 24.
Oh, okay. This is okay. Sorry, I thought it would have been longer. Gosh, I feel so old. It was last year.
Yeah, it was last year.
Okay,
Or
good.
2
years ago.
years ago. Yeah,
My
yeah.
bad.
There you good.
2 years.
All right, going into the next one. This guy averaged 20.9 points per game, 14.5 rebounds per game, 6.6 assists per game. Was he an All-Star?
Sheesh, 14-4. No, this is Sabonis.
This is Sabonis.
Yeah, so the 14-4. Yeah, I don't know how he's not All-Star, man. Cause what? I think he's top 10 all time triple doubles lit. Like he might be a Hall of Famer
Yeah.
just off his stats.
Yeah, it's insane, bro. Yeah, that I had to put him in there.
Yeah.
That's obviously probably one of the bigger snubs
For sure.
of all time.
He always, if you guys watch Starting Five, which is it's awesome, it's on Netflix, so no
he
free
was in
promo.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
And he talked about how it made him feel like how he doesn't get. And he was saying like I get the end of the season. Like he was saying what you were saying. Like to me and my wife, because he was with his wife. He was like, we just care about whenever All NBA. Right. Like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, did I make that? Was able to achieve something personal that I know was able to do? All-Star, like he was saying, it's all just popularity contest, whatever. And that's cool. I think he has a point to that. But I also do think, they could just add more spots.
Right, 100%. And then this last one, this guy averaged 17.6 points per game, 3.7 rebounds per game, and 2.8 assists per game. Did he make an All-Star?
How many rebounds again?
3.7.
I'm going to say yes.
He did.
Yeah.
This was Kobe. His
yeah.
last season.
Damn, yeah. So they obviously had to give it to Kobe his last year, man. But he was still hooping.
Yeah.
Still hooping. Still doing Mamba things.
Yeah, of course.
But, yeah, I did all right. I was
you did good.
like 80% or something.
Yeah. Obviously, it's
the Pistol Pete one was kind of cheating, but he was getting to it in booty shorts.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, I had to bring that up just because I was interested. Obviously I didn't go too deep into it. I kind of wanted to bring in some people of this year,
recent,
and then kind of go back and
mix
see,
it up.
See kind of like what you thought about it. Because like you said, of course it is essentially a popularity contest. You know what I mean? If you're great and you're putting up decent numbers,
I think now more it is more now than it ever was, just because like you can bot it and vote for LaMelo, 100,000 times if you want. But it's like nobody really has time to do that. But like some people do.
Yeah. No, they definitely do.
Yeah, like some people do.
Yeah.
So but I don't want to say that.
I guess kind of going into the next segment is the betting segment.
Yeah,
right?
bro. We got to recap our picks, man.
How'd you do, bro?
I did not do too hot. I think I had unfortunately the I'm
Shea Gilly dropped 50, but
so I gotta stop taking Thunder money line, man, because I'm just bad luck for my two bad luck picks are Yoke triple double and Thunder money line. Anytime I've taken the Thunder money line probably like 4 or 5 times this season, and 3 times they've lost.
And we've only lost 9.
Yeah,
that's
9
crazy.
times. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy, bro. It's your same thing like what you said with like Jokic and shit
with
the triple doubles.
I won't take it. Like he didn't hit the time that we took it, and the Thunder money line didn't hit. So of course both of mine missed. I'm 0-2 again. Like I'm like 0-6, bro. But like, bro, next game triple double.
Yeah.
Next game Thunder win.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro, like, all right, well, it's not Wednesday.
Yeah. Damn, bro.
I'm like, sheesh, but it is what it is, man. I mean, I can't lie to y'all. Y'all have the facts too. I mean, like,
100%.
What am I gonna say? The Thunder beat the Warriors, bro?
Right.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
So that's
what does that take your total to? Have you been keeping track?
Yeah, I'm 0-6 since we've been doing it.
Damn.
Like I haven't given a winning pick yet.
Damn.
Like I think I had Giannis points miss, Wemby miss, Maxi, Maxi, Steph, triple double, then Thunder and Shea, all misses.
Damn, bro. He's gonna redeem himself this Wednesday,
now
boys.
That I
promise.
say that, now that I just went through it, because we just went through it. That's what I did.
Yeah.
That's what I've done.
Yep.
Like up until, and I did the Sabonis thing with you. That's the only thing that hit for me, and it was because you did it, not me. I had Curry points. Like my parlay didn't hit. I hit a straight, and it was because CJ.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Yeah, so I mean, in the pod too, we were kind of talking about it as we were going because we placed our picks a little earlier in the day, and we recorded a little later, so we were able to kind of live reaction. So if you saw that, shout out to y'all. Y'all are the true fans. But we'll go. I'll go over it again for y'all if you didn't watch it. I had Cade Cunningham. He hit for me. He was 36.5 points and assists. Shout out to him. I think that was the game. He had like. It was when against the Pacers. He had like 30 and like 12 or something like that. Like he was hooping.
Wait, I took the Cade thing, so it hit. Like I take your picks, but like I'm reviewing just mine.
Right.
By the way, whenever I talk about it. So like that's why I'm saying like I lost.
Right.
Sorry, I just had.
No, yeah, you're good, bro. And then my player that I thought would be my wagon for this season was Cat.
Yeah.
He had 37.5 points, rebounds. He didn't hit that. It was against the Nuggets. That was that game.
Such a weird game,
bro. Because
like,
I don't
Jokic
think
did nothing.
Yeah, I don't think Jokic did anything that night.
It just like, it's basically like it kind of makes me feel lucky because I'm betting on like the worst possible night. Like, of course I bet on it and like he doesn't do a thing.
Right.
So that kind of makes me feel like kind of lucky. I'm like, oh wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, I think I'm.
Did they win that game? They lost, right?
They lost.
Yeah.
I think I'm 4-3 for the season, so not too bad, but
nah, like I was doing good before we started tracking it.
Yeah.
But now we're like tracking it, and
it's all good. Hey, you'll get them next week, bro.
It's not in my control. I wish it was that simple. Oh, you'll get them next week. Shit, I'll make a pick next week. I don't know if I'll get them.
Outlier.
Yeah, as long as we use outlier bets, baby.
Facts.
Yes, sir. You gotta plug that. But ultimately, it is what it is. It's all fun and games. And like I said on the last pod, just don't bet what you can't afford to lose.
100%.
You know, I'm betting 1 unit. You know,
Right.
and for all of us, it's different. You know, for some that's $1, some that's 10, for some that's 100.
Yeah.
Don't matter.
Don't matter, whatever.
Yeah, brother. You got anything else for us though?
No, man. Just, appreciate you pulling up on the boy, shooting in person. I always like
Always.
these. Feel like it's
Lakers
like
W2, man, against the Knicks.
And
so.
at the underdub.
Yeah,
it's a
bro.
Good night, bro. It's a good night.
I have some recap game to watch for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
But it seems like we scored again, man. Our offense has been a lot. It's been better than expected without AD. I think LeBron's been able to carry it. I mean, we're
I'll
scoring.
say y'all's defense is looking really good too.
Yeah,
so
the defense has been way
that's good
better,
to see
bro.
for y'all.
Yeah, man, and like I've been telling you guys, just some of the moves Pelinka has made is actually pretty good. I think since the Westbrook trade, we've made good moves.
Yeah.
The Shake Milton was good. Finney Smith was good. Hachimura's been good. Putting AR in the starting lineup's been great. So trading D'Lo's been good.
Yeah.
And D'Lo, shout out D'Lo, man. He said he's like, I'll never go back to somewhere where I can't hoop freely. Yeah, never leave a place where you're free. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
Why would you ever want to go somewhere else if you're already free? So just remember that. Like,
Thanks.
why do you need to go somewhere else if you feel freedom here? I don't know.
I think that's a great.
Yeah, to me it just seemed like he was lost.
Yeah.
And he always just should have stayed with the Nets.
100%.
Like
100%.
if you felt free, why would you leave freedom?
Right.
But to end that off, don't leave freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a great way to end it, man. Great
bro.
pod.
Yeah,
If
bro.
y'all liked and enjoyed this episode, 3-Man Weave, don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch y'all next time, man. Peace.
Peace.
3-Man. Bo, bo, bo.